G'day guys, today's video is the running video of my Tamiya M06 Lotus Europa special. So previous video I did the unbox and build, and fortunately I was able to finish it the day before I had an on-road club day. So managed to put the car on the track just for a bit of a practice in between. We had a lunch break, and I managed to give it a bit of a run, get acquainted with it. So rather than me just standing here in my office flapping my gums, I'll cut to the footage that I captured and I'll do a bit of voiceover from there. Alright, so very first corner, I spin out. Now, to be fair, this session here, this was when the track was first laid out. So it's morning practice, and being a tennis ball court, it is very, very, very dusty. Even though the track is blown off, there's still some of that residual dust on the surface, and as you can see, pretty much every corner, you only just have to sneeze on the steering and it just spins out. And I persevered with it for a few laps, and I didn't really want to do any damage to the car, so I was taking it easy, just getting a feel for it. As when I built this, I didn't build it with the friction shocks. I have some Tamiya mini oil-filled shocks laying about. I put those on, and yeah, so these first few laps were very, very, very sketchy and basically impossible to drive. So now this section here is during our lunch break. We've had 4 heats and 3 qualifiers of each heat, so the track surface is a lot cleaner. However, as you can see, it's still a bit dicey. Part of the problem is it is the kit differential in it. So it's not oil filled, you just put grease in there. So it's essentially just an open diff. And what's happening is as it goes around corners, the chassis will roll, and as you start to accelerate, the inner tire is spinning up and making it real sketchy. However, I did notice as I would drive along, the scrubbing of the tires, because when the tires are new, they have like a mold release agent on them, and the tires are a bit shiny. I did notice though after a few laps that the car was starting to hook up, partly from the tires getting scrubbed in, and also from the tires starting to get a bit of heat into them. Now, obviously we're not doing ridiculous speeds, but it was going fast enough for the tires to generate heat, especially the rear tires. It did though, however, get a little squirrely if you got really aggressive with the throttle. I did find it to be still a bit squirrely, but as the laps went on and on, the car started to settle in. Obviously everything else is brand new, the suspension and all the different, like the drivetrain's all new, so it's all starting to settle in. And although as I say that, there's really not much to these cars that requires to be settled in. But honestly, driving it, it's because it's my first time with a rear-wheel drive M chassis car. used to the front-wheel drive versions where you could be a little bit more aggressive with the steering and the throttle. But other than that, as the laps went on, the car itself got better to drive and started to get a feel for it. Might do a few more adjustments. I might pull the differential out and put a little bit of 2 million weight differential oil on the gears just to try and help lock it up a little bit. Because the problem with these standard Tamiya differentials is there's no O-rings on them. You just assemble it and just grease it and just let the grease lubricate all the parts. I've tried in the past to put differential oil in, and by the end of the day it's back to an open diff again. And one of the things that you could do is just lock the diff with some blue tack, but I think I'll try some 2 million weight oil with the diff. So as you can see here, guys, the car's getting much better to drive. It's not so squirrely going around corners, but like I said, if you got really aggressive with the throttle, it would spin out. But it was a lot nicer to drive. So that's all I've really got to say about the car. And it's fun to drive. It was fun to build. And I might even use it in the next club day. So that's me. I'm gonna sign off now. Enjoy the rest of the video, guys, and cheers.
Metal gate.